So let's start with going from two English title fight losses to European champion. It's been some journey for yourself so far. Um, Firstly, did the dream and ambition ever change? Did you ever think that you might have hit your ceiling?
No, I think that's the thing. I've never had a ceiling to. I've never really had a dream or ambition. Really, that's. I just take every fight as it comes. I've never thought I want to get to this stage. I want to get to this stage. I just always want to win my next fight, and just by winning my next fight, it's got me to this stage now. I suppose maybe one time I wanted when I was English champion, I did want the British title because I thought that was going to be my next fight. Really, it's the logical sort of thing. A few English defences, you think you get a British shot, but I'm not really fussed about it. I've never had a shot at it, but I just wanted to better myself, and that was my next fight. But it never happened. But I won't change anything anyway.
Do you think that that mentality and that not really having a specific goal to aim for helped you because there's no real pressure on yourself then to do as well as you like?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's just my nature in anything really. I want to. The only pressure I put on myself is pressure to prepare. So I know as long as I tick these boxes and I've done everything that my coach has asked me to do and my diet's been good and everything, then for me the fight night that's the enjoyable bit really. There's no pressure on me, like to go in there and enjoy it. Um it's the track work and stuff and your circuits and stuff. That's that I don't like enjoying. But yeah, there's never no I never put no pressure on myself. I need to make sure I put 100% in. And when I know I've done that, I'm a happy fighter.
It seemed to be as soon as you'd step to a certain level, so Mason Cartwright, Linus Udofia, you would lose at that sort of next step up essentially, and almost appeared like you was just going to be an opponent. You was thrown in against Derek Azazi. You was meant to lose that fight, and you'd gone on after Azazi and you beat five undefeated fighters since then, including Derek. Did anything change in the way you trained or the way you approached fights? What was the switch that flicked for you to, I suppose, start winning these fights?
Yeah, well, there's one major thing really that happened to me then. I went full time in boxing. So the Derrick fight was my first time. Well, I had a month off for the Derrick one. That's the first time I'd had that before. And then after that, I went full time in for boxing. So I'm reaping the rewards for it. But even so, with the Cartwright fight, I was losing by only by a couple of rounds, I think, or about a round or two in it, and it was on cuts, and people don't look too much into it. Say, "Oh, we got stopped." Then I don't know. Imagine I got knocked out or something. And the Linus one was, I still think I won that fight to this day. Do you know what I mean? It was split decision, majority decision. On his show, a good win show in your court. Do you know what I mean? And I even dropped him in that fight with a jab, and the ref just picked him up. So and nothing got counted. So it's a bit frustrating, but I always believed I could win these fights. But obviously going full time and not having to work and stuff was a game changer for me.
Did you notice the difference when you went full time to before the Derek fight?
Yeah, it's just I was still training twice a day. Even when I was working, I'd get up early, run, go to work, and then train afterwards. But it's just you rest. There's the saying in boxing. There's no such thing as overtraining. It's under rest. So you was never resting. Do you know what I mean? You rest was grafting at work. So, but now I'll train. I'll wake up in the morning, go for a run, chill out, have some breakfast, go boxing, come back. Then I'll have a nap most days. Do you know what I mean? In the day, so have an hour and a half nap or something, and I feel good, ready to go again. But I know it sounds like a bit of a privileged position, but I think when you're training two, three times a day, I need it anyway. I feel like I need it, and I perform better when I do it.
It's something that doesn't really get mentioned a lot is the rest time. I mean, the amount of times I've lined up interviews and fighters have missed the interview because they're sleeping, they're napping, or
Yeah.
around their rest time. And fans especially don't see that side of it. Tell me how important that is for you fighters, the rest.
It's major. I think it's just as important as your training and that really. You can't have another good session without the rest. You know what I mean? And I've done them before, and I've just got through them. But when you do something, you're just burning the candle at both ends. It's no good. It's going to end up bad. I've done when I fought Paulie McGowan. I felt like I was dead probably 2 weeks out from that fight. I remember sparring. I was terrible. I just got through 10 rounds of sparring, but and my output wasn't there and nothing was there. And I felt like that in that fight. But there's certain things in that camp, I think, because I fought Brad Ray in November, Brad Paul's in February, and then we're going May. I was just straight camp, 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 and there was no rest. And ideally, I probably if I well, it all planned well because I still won the fight. Do you know what I mean? But I never performed what I know I can do. But you learn from experiences, don't you? So these fights are in a camp, and I might be getting to that sort of stage, and then we'll speak to my coach, and we'll have a day off or an easier day or something. Do you know what I mean? Got to learn from the experiences.
I mentioned earlier about the couple of losses, and from the outside looking in, it felt like you was being put in against these undefeated prospects as the opponent. You was there to lose, but you just didn't lose. You just kept winning. There's one draw in there against Drew Wilson Bent, but you just kept winning these fights and almost throwing the script out the window and tearing it up. Did there come a turning point for you where did you ever feel like the opponent and then actually feel like you was going into the A side? When did that change?
Um,
Or has it?
I don't think it has changed. Like I'm going for Sheeraz as an opponent now. Cash as an opponent when I Matchroom won the purse bid, so I'd be opponent for Cash, so he could win the belt and do whatever. But none of that bothers me really. All I can ask for is an opportunity, and then that's up to me to deal with it. Then, if they want to look at things as we'll get this guy and we'll beat that guy. I don't mind being that guy as long as I get the opportunity because some people in no, just in boxing life, you can't get the opportunities, can you? So as long as you got the opportunity, that's up to you to deal with it. Then don't get me wrong, it might be harder on an away show or the B side and stuff, but beggars can't be choosers, can they?
Do you ever worry about that being on another promotion show? Mentioned about the Linus Udofia fight, you felt you won that, you felt you dropped him, but the ref just sort of picked him up and carried on like nothing had happened, as if it was a slip. Do you ever worry about that? Do you feel you have to ever take it out of the judge's hands or things like that?
I mean, it's one. I don't think you can let yourself worry about that really because you might be start boxing the way you might not want to box and start getting hit with shots. You just have to trust the system, don't you? And it's hard sometimes when you see some of the decisions, not necessarily against me, but some of the bad decisions out there, and that, for instance, Catchell and Taylor, that first one, and but you had to trust the system again for the rematch, and they done it. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit out of your hands, isn't it? I suppose all you can do as a fighter is go in there and hope you get a fair crack.
Absolutely. Hamzah Sheeraz, next opponent you mentioned there on a massive show, the Riyadh season, Turkey Al Sheikh, a big opportunity. Let's start with that first of all. For you, how excited are you to be a part of such a big show?
I'm buzzing for it, man. Buzzing for it. It was just massive for me really to get the call about that. It was a no brainer. It wouldn't matter who I was fighting. I'm just Shirazi just saying if he's out at Wembley undercard of Joshua Dubois, I'm in. You know what I mean? Just that's all I needed to know. Then I'm just Shiraz, great fighter, but someone then I think I got the beating of as well. Um, a lot of people say no, he's got no chance, but these same people said that against Cash, said it against, I don't know, Signani, you Rivers, you Brad Ray, Brad Paul. I mean, I've heard it all before. So as long as me and my team believe, which we do, then we'll go in there and cause the upset.
Hamza come out in an interview recently and said that he feels you've got nothing to lose, which makes you dangerous. Do you feel that same way, or is it quite the opposite? You've actually got quite a lot to lose.
Yeah, I've got my belt to lose. Do you know what I mean? I've got my belt to lose, and that's a lot of bargaining power for me because I feel like you take that belt away from me, and I become in the who needs them club. Do you know what I mean? I don't think there'll be that many people willing to fight me for nothing. Um, so I've got a lot to lose, and even like every fight I go into, I feel like it's not just boxing on the line for me. It's like a lifestyle because as much as everyone's like kind of behind me now and stuff, and your sponsors and that, you get a few losses, and you could be back at work. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to go back to work. I enjoy this lifestyle, the flexibility, dropping the kids to school and stuff like that. So I've got a hell of a lot to lose really, and I'm not planning on losing it either.
Is it a big motivator for you to be able to continue in this full time? And we mentioned about the rest of going full time, but also you mentioned there, the family time as well, taking the kids to school, taking the kids to dance, etc. Their activities outside of school. That side of it's benefited from you going full time as well.
Yeah, like I wasn't involved really, and you have to be a bit selfish in boxing. Really, you have to put boxing first. I know saying like you shouldn't have put nothing over your kids, but in the long run, in the short term, you have to put boxing first, or you're not going to be able to do these things. And that's what I had to do really, and it's got me to a position where now I can, take my daughter to dance and football and stuff like that, where I couldn't do them stuff before. And you miss out on a lot, but that's just sacrifices you have to make, don't you? I think just in life, in general, if you want something, you have to make certain sacrifices. Sometimes not always morally, like you say, you shouldn't be missing out on your kids' stuff, but it's one of them things, isn't it?
So you got to do what you got to do. I mentioned earlier you've beaten 5 undefeated fighters since your last loss. Is Hamzah Sheeraz going to be the sixth?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I don't talk shit about him because he's a cool guy and that. Do you know what I mean? But and it's not like me and Cash really had a bit of there here and there. But I respect Hamza, but this is boxing, man, and he's in my way now. And massive platform. But I couldn't think of a better place to fight him. Really, a lot of eyes are going to be on you, so I'll beat Hamza, and then everyone's talking about Hamza should be world title this, world title that. They'll have to talk about that with me then.
Well, Hamza is the #1 contender with WBC for the Carlos Adames for his world title. You beat him, surely that puts you in place for that world title shot.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? You'd think so. But boxing's a funny game. I don't think no one ever knows what's going on really because I don't know. I was hearing that he was going to fight him anyway, then he was going to fight Eubank, and maybe we would have fought Cash if Cash would. So maybe I'm fourth choice, but I don't mind, man. I take no offense to it. Like I say, as long as I get the opportunity, I'm here. But who knows? I find it hard to look past Hamza. To be fair, I know it's a tough task ahead of me, but one that I'm relishing. It gets me going, man. Just finished training and I'm buzzing like every day. I'm waking up buzzing because it's such a big opportunity and it put such a big event. Everything, even behind the scenes, and it's something I've never experienced, and just trying to embrace it really as well. Enjoy it.
You mentioned there, you're buzzing for it. You know how big this fight is, the task ahead of you, but also the opportunity as well. Do you get this feeling every fight you go along? Because every fight seems to get bigger and bigger for you.
Yeah, it's like last month I headlined Results World against Cash, and for me that was like mind blowing. Do you know what I mean? I was like, wow. And then the day after, I got this call for that, and I never even had time to think about the Cash fight to like kind of digest it. But then that doesn't seem so big anymore. Do you know what I mean? And it's just mental, really. I remember even fighting on my first boxer show. It was like first opening from the first one on live TV, and that was massive for me as well. So everything just keeps going well, really. To keep putting the work in, and just like so, I've got no ceiling. I don't put no expectations. Just win the next fight, enjoy it, and see where I end up.
You mentioned a name there. I know you're not looking past Hamza Sheeraz, but Chris Eubank Jr. It's another big British fight for yourself potentially down the line. And you mentioned with Sky interview that he's probably an easier fight than Hamza Sheeraz. Do you think with Eubank he's firstly on a decline, and secondly, do you think he's deserving of the Canelo fight he's been linked with?
Um, that's boxing. I think it's the name and the views and everything that he gets. Yeah, I mean, if for instance, if he's like Canelo and you could fight Eubank, or like I said, I think Shiraz would beat Eubank, but you'd pick Eubank over Shiraz. He brings a lot more to the table. I think Shiraz knows that as well. But for now, do you know what I mean? Shiraz has got his plans, but he's probably not going to go well when I beat him either. Um, but I don't think I know the Eubank fight now, but then because he's on the back Canelo, I think once he goes up to super middle, I don't think we'll see him back down at middleweight anymore. That's my personal thing. I think he struggled a few times and moaned. You remember his dad moaning about getting down to the weight. He shouldn't be getting down, and I don't know. I think he'll be a super middleweight from now on.
And just finally, Tyler, last one. Potentially with this big opportunity at Wembley, are we going to see Sean Paul at Wembley with you walking out?
Hopefully, that's in the works. We've contacted him, and I think he's up for it. He's got to just sort out all the little bits and bobs, but there's definitely talks going on, and I'd love that. Yeah, I mean, I've come out for Infiltrate for I don't know for how many years now, and if we could do Sean Paul there live, just getting the movie for that. Anti Josh undercard, wow. And then throw Sean Paul in the mix. It just keeps blowing my mind. But hopefully, but it's important that I just reel myself back in and get back on the training as well. It's that easy to get carried away with everything that's going on, but performance is the main ingredient here.
Absolutely. Well, Tyler, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure and best of luck for September 21st.
Nice one, man. Thanks for having me on.
No worries at all. Pleasure.
Cheers. Okay. Bye bye.